Happy Saturday, Internet. We're not getting any younger, and I hope you have a hunger for the sensation of the information that'll give you motivation and make you that much stronger no matter the nation. You don't have to wait any longer. This is The Loop. Horror, shock, and pain out of Charleston, South Carolina this past Thursday, where an armed gunman entered Emmanuel AME, a prominent black church, with the willful intent to murder multiple people for the singular purpose of starting, by his own admission, a race war. The 21-year-old gunman walked into the church that morning claiming to be there for Bible study, but within an hour of arrival, opened fire, claiming the lives of 9 parishioners, all African American. After he began his attack, witnesses claimed that he said aloud that African Americans were, quote, taking over the country. He was found, arrested, and charged within hours, the charges including 9 counts of murder and possession of a firearm during the commission of a violent crime. Prosecutors are pursuing the death penalty for the shooter. In an irony of ironies, he currently resides in a cell next to Michael Slager, the white police officer charged with the murder of Walter Scott, an unarmed African-American man. If I may get personal for a moment, it's incredibly difficult to remain impassionate and unbiased in the face of evil. Look, I'm very grateful that this man, who is, to be clear, a domestic terrorist, was so quickly apprehended. But how many more waking nightmares do we as a country have to endure before we rise up from our collective apathy? President Obama himself said quite rightly that he's had to, quote, make statements like this too many times in his time as president. Perhaps the saddest element of this story, to me, is that the killer's roommate admitted that the killer had been planning this attack for months and he did nothing to stop it. Never reported his behavior, didn't bat an eye when he bought a gun. When we are witnesses to hate, it is our duty to our fellow human beings to speak up and say no more, not in our time. What kind of planet do we want to leave for the next generation? In his confession, the killer admitted that in the final moments before he drew his weapon and committed 9 racially charged murders, he almost changed his mind because of how kind everyone was to him in that church. People who he blindly hated for the color of their skin treated him like a brother, and even after months of planning, in his heart, he knew that they had just as much of a right to life as he. And then he pulled the trigger anyway. Hate is not natural or logical. It is learned and only survives through inaction. Thank you for permitting me to speak my mind. Now, more news from around the world. At the Vatican, Pope Francis this week issued his long-anticipated encyclical regarding climate change. In his treatise, he indicts the human race for exploiting the planet to a nearly irreparable degree while failing to help its most impoverished and needy people. Thrillingly, he recasts the act of cleaning up the planet as a moral imperative, something that cannot be ignored if, perhaps, his millions upon millions of followers want to be judged favorably by the Lord. This rallying cry comes mere months before international climate change talks begin this year in Paris, and could not be more appreciated by those who love our planet. The encyclical Laudato Si can be found on the Vatican's website and the description below, and is totally worth a read. Researchers at NASA revealed this week that nearly 21 of Earth's 37 largest aquifers located all over the world have passed the so-called sustainability tipping point. What does that mean? It means that more water is being removed from them by man than is being replaced by nature. NASA's senior water scientist calls the situation critical, and it's hard to see things improving quickly. Aquifers accumulate over millennia, not years, and whatever replenishment is offered by snowmelt and rain is quickly used up by humans across the globe. In addition, some of these aquifers are far smaller in size than previously anticipated, leading to uncertainty across the board about how long they'll last under the current depletion rate. In the UK, pork is under intense scrutiny after meat sold at several leading supermarkets was found to be contaminated with a strain of MRSA, or methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. The drug-resistant superbug is linked to the overuse of antibiotics in factory farming and causes skin conditions, pneumonia, and blood poisoning. 2/3 of Denmark's pig farms are infected with the CC398 strain of MRSA, and over 1,200 people were infected last year. So far, no one in the UK has caught the infection, but sadly, bacon lovers will have to switch to turkey until the situation is corrected. And finally, what did people love in media this week? In music, Muse's new album, Drones, debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. In TV, Pretty Little Liars continues to own the iTunes episode download charts, while Suits tops the season charts. And at the box office, Jurassic World scored a thunderous $208 million opening weekend, shattering the record set by the first Avengers film, making it the highest-grossing domestic opening weekend of all time. And that's everything that you need to know about your world this week. So this weekend, when you're trying to play off how much you cried when you saw Inside Out at the movies, distract your friends with some knowledge, because until next Saturday, you're in the loop. I'm Matt Lieberman. Thanks for watching.
Why do people have anything other than dogs? Nothing else loves you remotely.
I eat well,
like
not I eat good.
I eat good.
No, and that is not me. I did just correct you.